Teachers, are you a little frustrated that you continuously teach your children or your students how to use a strategy, but then they never apply it? Has that ever happened to you? I know it's happened to me over the last 23 years of my career. And if that's happened to you, stick around because today we're going to dive into Tryin Lion. Stick around. Hey there, if you're new here, my name is Anna. I was a teacher for 23 years, and on this channel I provide professional development videos to help teachers improve their craft by learning tips and strategies for rigorous and streamlined small group instruction. So if these are the types of videos that interest you and that you'd like to use in your own classroom, stick around. Also, please click that thumbs up button, that subscribe button, and that little bell right next to it so you can get alerted every time my new videos go live, which is usually on Sundays. So let's jump into today's content. So here we go. We are going to dive into Tryin Lion today. That is today's strategy, Tryin Lion. Days as emergent readers, they learn to look at pictures for clues to help them solve unknown words. Now that they've progressed and are learning to read longer sentences, they're getting familiar with the structure and syntax and learning how words are put together in sentences and in paragraphs. And Tryin Lion here, our little friend right here, uses both the meaning and the structure cueing systems to evaluate the words students substitute. When they come to a word they don't know, Tryin Lion teaches them to try all the other strategies first. Then, if they still can't solve the unknown word, they should just read the sentence and try out a word they think that would make sense in the sentence. And finally, they should ask themselves, does it sound right? And does it make sense? So if you're ready to learn the Tryin Lion strategy, keep on watching. The Tryin Lion strategy is such an important strategy to teach because it reminds your little readers not to give up. That's so important. Learning to read is such a challenging process, but good old Tryin Lion here encourages our little readers to keep at it, even when they encounter unknown words. So when you're ready to teach Tryin Lion to your students in the classroom, you're going to need their strategy fans. So I always have my teaching strategy fan, and then of course, student-sized strategy fan as well. And then if you have some type of a little stuffed animal or a little plush toy, that helps sometimes for our little readers just to kind of get connected with it and have something tactile to touch. So just quickly before we jump in, my Guided Readers online program contains all of your strategy fan templates and of course all of the instructional trifolds that you'll need to help you teach these strategies along with all of the other strategies for your guided reading groups. So here's how we're going to start. I tell my students, okay, boys and girls, open up your strategy fan to Tryin Lion. Tryin Lion always tries his best when something is hard for him. If Tryin Lion comes to a really tricky word in a sentence, he tries the other strategies first, and if he still doesn't know the word, he'll put a word that he thinks will make sense in the sentence and then keep on reading. Then Tryin Lion goes back and thinks about what the sentence means and whether the word he put in actually made sense. Now, typically, I will teach Tryin Lion as a whole group reading strategy to my class, maybe using a big book or whiteboard or chart paper. And I'll have several sentences containing difficult words in it that have been covered up in advance. Again, you could also select a big book to do this with that your students might be familiar with, and you can cover several difficult words with sticky notes. Now, After modeling the strategy during your big book reading, you could do a whiteboard activity with your students. Begin by reading a sentence like this. My dog gets blank after a walk. Of course, we want to leave this word covered. Now, what we want your students to do is put a word in here that makes sense. My dog gets blank after a walk. What word can make sense here in this sentence? What word can make sense here? And you ask the students. They might say tired. They might say hungry. They might say thirsty. And maybe what I'll do is I'll write those down. I'll write tired. I'll write hungry. Oops. I'll write hungry. So I'm going to write down the answers that they said. Okay, so whatever words they said. My dog gets blank after a walk. My dog gets tired after a walk. My dog gets hungry after a walk. My dog gets, let's say they said thirsty, because some of them probably have dogs and they know that. My dog gets thirsty after a walk. So we're going to write down all of the words they said. Now I'm going to say, boys and girls, do all of these words make sense in the sentence? Do they make sense? They do make sense. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to uncover the word. And I'm going to say, boys and girls, now I have this word here. Now you might be looking at that word and saying, I don't even know what that word is. So what we can do is we can start using some of our other strategies now from our strategy fan. We could say, boys and girls, let's look at this word. It's a tough word right here. And I could say, boys and girls, let's use lips to fish. Let's get our lips ready. What sound does TH make? What sound does TH make? What sound does it make? Good, we can get our lips ready. Now we know what the sentence says. My dog gets blank after a walk. And we know it starts with my dog gets. What else can we use? What other strategies can we use? Can we use Stretchy Snake? Sure we can. We can use Stretchy Snake. Let's try and stretch it out. My dog gets we know ST, we know that blend, right? It's Chunky Monkey right there. We know that's ST, which is st. So we have st. Sometimes we don't know what that Y is at the end, right? Because Y can have a couple of different sounds sometimes, right? Let's try reading it again. My dog gets thirsty. My dog gets thirsty after a walk. So boys and girls, do you see what you did? First, you thought about other words that would make sense in that sentence. And we just kept reading on. And we thought, well, he could be hungry. He could be tired. He could be thirsty. And then when we looked at the word, we used our other strategies. We used lips to fish. And we got our lips ready to say the beginning sound. We used Chunky Monkey because we knew ST makes the st sound. So we use Chunky Monkey. And we also use Stretchy Snake. So you see how we use all of our strategies together to help us when we don't know what a word is when we're reading. That's how Tryin Lion helps us. So now after we do that together, we're going to do it with a few more sentences to allow the students again to practice. And then we're going to follow up with review and reinforcement during our small group instruction. Just a reminder, these decoding strategies are scaffolded by difficulty level. Beginning with our basic eagle eye and lips to fish strategies, we need to still teach those strategies and keep practicing those strategies, even though your lower level readers might not be ready to address these higher level strategies. It's still good for them to have exposure to all of the strategies so that they'll be familiar with them when they encounter them again and as they progress through the leveled groups that you're hopefully going to get them to. All right? Now, let's look at how you might teach the Tryin Lion strategy to your early readers guided reading group. So what we're going to do as an example, we are going to use this adorable book. I just absolutely love it. It's called Art Class Disaster. It is a text that's available within my new guided readers program. It is leveled as a Fontes and Pinnell level H and a Lexile of 400L. So what you want to do is you want to be sure to distribute your strategy fans to your students. So important because we want to use our strategy fans. And what we're going to do is after we do the read and prompt portion of the book discussion, I want you to have your students turn to page 5 of this book and read the second sentence. So it says, I wanted to make a horse. I squeezed the clay. I rolled it. I pinched it. All right. Now what we're going to do is we are going to read that sentence to our students, but we're going to leave out the word squeezed. Okay. So now I'm going to read this sentence, boys and girls. It says, I wanted to make a horse. I don't know that word. I blanked the clay. I rolled it. I pinched it. So boys and girls, let's think about what I just did. I came to this word and I just don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. So what can we do? What can we do to help us solve this word that I don't know? Now remember, if we can't solve an unknown word using our other strategies like Lips the fish or Stretchy Snake, what can we try? We could do Tryin Lion. So what we're going to do is I'm going to try a word to see if it makes sense, all right? So let me try one. I wanted to make a horse. I'm getting my lips ready. Because I'm going to start saying the word. I skated the clay. I rolled it. I pinched it. Skated. That doesn't really make sense, does it? I wanted to make a horse. I skated the clay, I rolled it, I pinched it. That doesn't make sense. So let me try something else. I wanted to make a horse. I squirreled the clay, I rolled it, I pinched it. That doesn't make sense at all. So what we want to do now is we want to look at the pictures again. Look at the picture. Look at the word. What's happening in the picture? What is the boy doing? He's pushing that clay. What's he doing? He looks like he's like squeezing it. So maybe we could try the word squeeze. I wanted to make a horse. I squeeze the clay. How about I squeezed the clay? I rolled it. I pinched it. Yes, great job. Tryin Lion helped us to remember that if we try other strategies that didn't work, we could try another word and again, see if it makes sense. Remember, Tryin Lion wants us to try words to see if they make sense. So now let's look at page 6. We're going to try the Tryin Lion strategy again to help us solve another word. All right, let's see what this one says. In 5 minutes, I had a potato with legs. Clay is hard. I don't know that word. I smashed the clay down. So now what we want to do is we want to try some of our other strategies. We're going to look at the picture. We're going to use our eagle eye. What's he doing? He's moving and his tongue is out. He's really concentrating. Is he having success? Is he doing what he's supposed to be doing? He wanted to make a horse, but he said it looked like a potato. So it says, in 5 minutes, I had a potato with legs. Clay is hard. I get my lips ready. What word can we use there to make sense? What word can we use to make sense to move on? Muttered, we could use muttered. So in 5 minutes, I had a potato with legs. Clay is hard, I muttered. I smashed the clay down. Muttered actually makes sense, but there's other letters in there that aren't the same in the word muttered. So we could go back again. It does make sense because he's kind of talking to himself, right? So let's look. Maybe we could try some of our other strategies that we have. We got our lips ready. We use lips to fish. Let's look at the rest of the word. Now again, the word is moaned. The word is moaned, right? So I'm going to say, okay, boys and girls, we could use Flippy Dolphin. We have two vowels here together. Okay, so let's put those two vowels together. We could have it starts with an O, so we could do a short O or a long O. So let's try a short O. And now let's use Stretchy Snake. Mond. Mond. That doesn't make sense. So we said muttered. We know he's talking to himself. He's kind of frustrated. Let's try the long O word. The long O sound for Flippy Dolphin. In 5 minutes, I had a potato with legs. Clay is hard. I moaned. That makes sense. Moaned. Let's read it again. In 5 minutes, I had a potato with legs. Clay is hard. I moaned. I smashed the clay down. That makes sense. And it follows some of the other strategies. We use lips of fish, we use Flippy Dolphin, we use Stretchy Snake, and we use Tryin Lion because we tried the word muttered. And muttered did make sense, but then we looked at the word and we knew that letters didn't make sense. So we tried another word, and then we tried our other strategies. So if there's one thing that Tryin Lion teaches us and our students is that we should never be afraid of a challenge. We shouldn't. We should try those words. Be up for the challenge. So we want our students to look at the challenge. We want our students to say, okay, this is a tough word. What can we do? Show them and model how to use the other strategies in their strategy fan, along with some of the harder, more challenging strategies like Tryin Lion. Tryin Lion, again, teaches us try a word that makes sense and keep on reading. And then ask yourself, does it make sense? So this is how we want to teach Tryin Lion. When we're teaching Tryin Lion, we also want to use it in tandem with our other strategies. So when you're doing this with your students, use a book. Find a word that might be a little difficult and then model how you would solve that word and model what you would do. All right? So that's basically how you would introduce Tryin Lion to your students. You can do it, like I said, starting with a big book, with the chart pad, whole group, and then move into your small group and keep reviewing the strategies. But remember, review the other strategies as well. We want students to have this toolbox all of the time. So the more that you practice and the more that you tell them to use lips to fish, to use eagle eye, to use Stretchy Snake, to use Flippy Dolphin, they're going to remember that when they come to a word that they don't know. All right? So I'm going to ask a question now. Do you ever get that feeling that you are no longer up for the challenge of being a guided reading teacher or teaching guided reading? Honestly, it's a fear and just a feeling that a lot of teachers feel. Guided reading is not easy. It's tough. And that's why I created Guided Readers, our brand new online guided reading program, because I want to help remove that feeling of overwhelm and stress and help you find a love of teaching guided reading. Guided Readers is a structured, streamlined approach that's designed for today's classroom. It takes the guesswork out of everything that you teach with guided reading and how to teach it. With Guided Readers, you are going to be prepared with engaging and professionally leveled texts, a digital interactive reader, again, that you could use on your one-to-one Chromebooks or iPads. There's so many time-saving tools that will help you. And Guided Readers contains every tool that you'll need to take your students from learning to read to reading to learn. So, again, get prepared to meet the challenges of literacy instruction because Guided Readers has your back. So I hope you'll check out Guided Readers when you have a chance. So again, if you are ready to skip the drama and get ready for your weekends and get that sanity back, click that link below to head over to Guided Readers. And again, if you go over to Guided Readers and you register for an account, you can get 4 complete free guided reading units. Totally free. You'll get emergent, you'll get early, you'll get transitional, and you'll get fluent. So try it out. Register for a free account, and then you can try out these resources in your classroom. Remember, Guided Readers is a step-by-step framework to ensure that you're going to meet the needs of each and every one of your students. So I hope you enjoyed this video today on Tryin Lion. And again, if you liked videos like this, please, or if you like today's video really, please give me a thumbs up. That says to me, I like it. Keep going. And leave a comment below. Don't forget to click that subscribe button. And again, that little bell next to it, so you'll always be alerted when my new videos go live. Thanks so much for watching today. I hope you have a great day and happy teaching. Bye for now, guys.